Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome BILD President and CEO, Dave Wilkes.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I yelled. I'm not used to this. It's been a while. So where you all been? It's like years since we've seen each other. But seriously, good evening. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 2020 BILD Awards, where we're also tonight incorporating BILD's 100th anniversary celebration. As you very well know, this event marks our long-awaited return to in-person events. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a very special evening. As you've heard us say, we appreciate your respect of the safety measures that we have put in place to both follow current government regulations and, more importantly, keep ourselves and each other safe. We appreciate you helping us out by making sure that you comply with those regulations. Tonight, during our 100th year, we have the opportunity to celebrate the innovation and the people that define our great industry. Tonight, BILD is pleased to introduce 3 new Pinnacle Awards. These new awards build on the legacy of our existing program, which recognize best-in-class sales and marketing campaigns and celebrates excellence in new home design and construction. But also tonight, we continue to broaden our commitment to recognizing excellence by introducing 3 new awards that celebrate not only what our industry does, but also who our industry is and how we do our work. BILD is humbled to recognize 2 late great titans of our industry. They both helped define our industry and how this great region, the GTA, was built. Sadly, we lost both over the last year. You'll hear more about both these awards later in our program, but I wanted to take the opportunity to pay special recognition. They are the Ignat Caniff Inspiration Award, which celebrates an individual or member company dedicated to supporting newcomers to Canada by providing employment, training, and mentorship. And the Angelo Delzato Fearless Innovator Award, recognizing leadership in building and development innovation. Our association is truly honored that Iggy's and Angelo's families and the companies they helped build have provided us with the opportunity to celebrate their legacy. We feel a great responsibility to respect the contribution of these 2 gentlemen as they join our former BILD President Stephen Dupuis and Riley Breather by having Pinnacle Awards in their name. Thank you to both the Delzato and the Ignat family. Thank you very much. Our industry commitment to communities and workplaces goes beyond the homes we build and the jobs we provide. It is also a commitment to making those communities better places to work, live, and play. That also defines the spirit and intent of this next new category. That is awarded to a company that demonstrates excellence in promoting and enhancing DE&I, both within their organizations and within the industry. Tonight is an opportunity, as I've mentioned, to celebrate BILD's 100th anniversary. Some things never changed as I tell this next story. We were started as a gathering of builders in the downtown tea room in April of 1921, where the first order of business was to gather funds to host a ladies' picnic for the families of member companies of the Toronto Home Builders Association. Over the last 100 years, BILD and its predecessor associations have played an important networking and advocacy role for home building, development, and the professional renovator sector, and those service, manufacturing, and professional sectors that support the industry. Throughout the night tonight, we'll feature various vignettes where we'll reflect on our collective history. We look forward to our next 100 years, representing this proud and vibrant industry with pride and excitement. You'll see this over the next 12 months, where we will stand on the shoulders of our achievements to ensure politicians, media, and all engaged individuals recognize our industry's contribution to the economy, the environment, and our society. And that through the provision of more housing and commercial space supply, and that with the support of government, we can take meaningful steps to address affordability. Thank you to our members for your support, and we look forward to continuing to provide best-in-class advocacy, information, and opportunities to celebrate. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our BILD Awards judges. This year, we had over 1,000 submissions that were evaluated by 52 judges. The pictures are on the slide behind me, and they were from across Canada, the United States, and Europe. The process that they follow determines the finalists and winners that we celebrate tonight. This last thank you is one that I truly and humbly want to pass along. And I'd be remiss if I didn't publicly recognize the entire staff team at BILD, some of those that are with us tonight, who have worked tirelessly and diligently over the last 18 months to passionately represent our industry and ensure we in the development, we in the home building, we in the renovation sector, and all of those that support the provision of new homes were able to keep working throughout the pandemic. I'm honored to work with the individuals that call BILD their employer, and we look forward to continuing to represent you. Thank you very much to the BILD team. Before we begin the awards agenda, I'm really excited to inform you that we have a very special guest that will be joining us later this evening, a guest that this industry owes a debt of gratitude to. While I don't want to spoil the surprise, we expect the timing is a little fluid, so we'll pause the ceremony when our guests arrive and introduce that individual at that time. So please stay with us. Now, to get on with the awards, please welcome our MC for this evening, who's been waiting 2 years to host this dinner because we had her booked in 2020, Brodie Lawson. Brodie appears on CFL's digital series, CFL Game Time, The Grind, and vlogs for her behind-the-scenes look at the league from Brodie OT. She also works with TSN on their Thursday night football programming, checking in with fans from stadiums across the league. Brodie, I will now pass the figurative ball over to you as you guide us through our new live show. Again, thank you for joining us. It's great to see everybody. Enjoy the evening safely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. It is my honor to be here tonight. Like Dave said, we've waited 2 years to all be together. It's going to be a fabulous evening. I did want to say, as the night progresses, to respect our speakers as they come on stage so we can really give them their time to shine. Now, to keep this evening moving, we will not be showing the finalists before announcing the winners. We're going to let you enjoy the food course and watch the finalists being shown on the screens surrounding your seats. Now, following this, as Dave mentioned, as part of BILD's 100th anniversary, we'll feature a few decades before announcing winners. Now, this is your cue to follow along in the booklet, and the categories are up first. Now, one final reminder, as you can see, the stage is kind of small this year, so this means that only 2 representatives per winning company should come on stage to receive the award. Do not worry, you can take full team photos out in the lobby once the dinner is finished. So please enjoy your first course, and I will be back in 20 minutes.
more than ever, people.
On a spring day, April 5th in 1921, 5 homebuilders from the city of Toronto assembled at 26 Adelaide Street West. They gathered with a very specific purpose: to create an industry association for Toronto's homebuilders. The association's goal: to provide an industry perspective to development policy for the region. Its members could share best building practices, establish standards, and enhance their trade. While the association began their work on public policy files, one of the first orders of business was to raise funds for a community tea in High Park for the association and their families, held in July of 1926. This would be the first of many social gatherings, galas, and functions for the association. The 1920s saw a huge increase in residential construction in Toronto. In those days, builders would construct a limited number of unique homes every year, often according to client specifications. In 1922 to 1923, one of the first key pieces of public policy the association provided input to was Bylaw 9868, a precursor to later zoning and city building code requirements. While previous Toronto bylaws around construction dealt mainly with mitigating fire risk, a perennial hazard in pre-20th century towns and cities, Bylaw 9868 sought to regulate the erection and provide for the safety of buildings. With amendments, this bylaw served the city through the early 20th century. The 20s was a busy time with a need for infrastructure for the growing city. Roads surveyed, roads paved, traffic lights installed. No longer a colonial city, it embraced everything modern, coming into its own identity.
In the 1930s, the Great Depression brought unemployment and economic hardship to many in Toronto, defining affordability challenges of the day. Yes, Toronto had a more diversified and industrialized economy than other parts of Canada, but it also foreshadowed the housing shortages that would reoccur in the decades to come. The mid and late 30s saw Canada's first 2 pieces of federal housing policy. It was a bid to address housing shortages, housing conditions, and stimulate much-needed employment. Unfortunately, the legislation and programs did not have time to make a real impact before the arrival of the Second World War in 1939. The decade of economic depression and the attendant constraints on housing supply, combined with the home front impacts, manpower and materials shortages during the war, meant that the city's housing inventory was under severe pressure in the 1930s and totally unprepared for the flood of demand that came after the war. It's clear that each decade impacts the next. In the 40s, the large post-World War unmet demand in housing, increases in housing prices, and the boom in home building all trace their origin to the collapse of the New York Stock Exchange in 1929 and the decade of economic depression that followed.
The Second World War was over. Now Toronto turned its attention to the challenges of peace. Yes, Torontonians had lived through 6 years of hardship with patience, strength, and grace, but there was now a chronic housing shortage. Transit was inadequate, and infrastructure had not kept pace. These needs of the 1940s provided the spark for the engine of economic growth and development that is residential and commercial construction. Some important factors would collide and change the region forever. Firstly, the flood of returning war veterans and workers from other countries. They came to a region where the housing stock had stayed mostly stagnant in the Great Depression, and there were massive constraints on materials and the workforce on the home front during the war. There was a rapid evolution in the speed and scale of new home building in the 1940s, which came out of the necessity to build homes quickly for war workers and veterans. The changes are exemplified by the simple, economical designs of Victory Housing, built by Wartime Housing Limited, Canada's first federal housing corporation. The expansion of the region's road and highway infrastructure began, including the start of the province's 400 series highways later in this decade, removing the traditional transportation barriers for what would later become the suburbs. Finally, the decade saw the creation in 1946 of the Central Mortgage and Housing Corporation, today known as the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. It was also an important milestone for the building industry. The Canadian Home Builders Association was founded in 1943. It allowed builders from coast to coast to advocate for the consistent national policies and standards that continue to shape our cities and towns to this day.
Gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. If I could have your attention to the front. Welcome back. We are going to present the first 7 awards this evening. The categories are Best Rendering, Mid and High Rise, Best Rendering, Low Rise, Best Suite Design, Best Single Detached House Design, Best Customer Care, Stephen Dupuis CSR Award, and wrapping this section with the Riley Brethor Leadership Award. Please welcome Mark Eicher from the Globe and Mail, a gold sponsor to present the award for Best Rendering, Mid and High Rise.
And the award goes to Galleria 3, ELAD Canada Realty Inc., Pure Blink Design Agency, The Brand Factory.
In. Oh, when the saints go marching in, I wanna be in that number. When the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints, oh, when the saints go marching in.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome new gold sponsor Alda Neves of Citizen Co. to announce the winner for Best Low-Rise Rendering.
Good evening. And the award goes to Bluemont, Fremont Homes, Caramel, and the Brand Factory.
Next are our first, yes, round of applause. Next are our first architectural awards this evening. Courtesy slip of GE Appliances, a gold sponsor. Please tell us who the winner is for Best Suite Design.
Good evening. And the award goes to 1 Jarvis Chanel, Emblem Developments, IBI Group, Studio JCI, The Brand Factory.
1, 2, 3. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss by wire. If the heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you lose me, and I'll be all alone. Oh, baby, telephone and tell me I'm your own. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. And then the heart's on fire. And my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you lose me, and you'll be all alone. Oh, baby, telephone, and they'll be you're not home.
Our next gold sponsor, Coast Appliances, will reveal the winner for single detached house design. Michael Fiorini, please tell us who the winner is.
Thank you very much. The winner for Best Single Detached House Design, Angus Glen South Village, The Mast, Calmore Communities, Angus Glen Developments, RN Design, and The Brand Factory.
Hey, everybody, let's have fun. You only live it once, and when you're dead, you're done. So let the good times roll. Let the good times roll. I don't care if it rolls. Get together, let the good times roll. Don't sit there moaning, talking trash. You want to have some fun, you got to spend some cash and let the good times roll. Let the good times roll. I don't care if you roll. Get together, let the good times roll. Yeah, let the good times roll. 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 I don't care if you roll. Get together, let the good times roll. Yeah, let the good times roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, next up is the highly coveted Best Customer Care Award. Stephanie Sinclair of G&L Group, please tell us which builder gets to take home this trophy.
And the award for Best Customer Care goes to Brookfield Residential. Unfortunately, Brookfield couldn't be here tonight, so I will accept the award on their behalf.
When skies are gray, you'll never know, dear, how much I love you. You don't take my sunshine away.
To wrap our first section, we close with two Pinnacle Awards that exemplify leadership. Please welcome back BILD President and CEO Dave Wilkes to announce the winner of the Stephen Dupuis CSR Award.
Good evening again. I hope we're all having a good time. This award is one that I present with mixed emotions, and I feel the legacy of Stephen every day that I do my job, and it is my honor to present it. The Stephen Dupuis Corporate Social Responsibility Award is bestowed upon a member, company, or individual dedicated to corporate social responsibility, which is also referred to as corporate citizenship. The late Stephen Dupuis, a former BILD president and CEO, for whom the award was named, exemplified this behavior. Stephen, who died suddenly in 2011, championed BILD's charitable partnership and its commitment to supporting the communities where we live and work. Tonight's recipient epitomizes the criteria of this award. They are conscious of the type of impact they are making on all aspects of society, including economic, social, environment, and through their operations is enhancing the community they serve. During an incredibly challenging time, this award recipient seized the opportunity to support their community and those impacted the most. When the pandemic hit in March of 2020, they didn't hesitate to take action by providing relief to frontline workers with warm meals and by supporting organizations that aid homeless and those struggling with mental health challenges. The recipient has provided more than 3,500 meals throughout the pandemic to such organizations as Feed the Front Lines, the Fred Victor Center, and Sick Kids Hospitals, just to name a few. They came together when we had all been forced to stay apart. They raised more than $315,000, with 100% of the proceeds going towards the COVID-19 relief. Recent efforts have focused on supporting organizations and agencies that help people access mental health supports, and the pandemic has only compounded the issue. This award recipient will be making a substantial financial donation to those who are working around the clock to provide mental health services, focusing particularly on children, youth and young adults. Such organizations as Youth Without Shelter, Yorktown Family Services, and the Jewish Child and Family Services. It is my great honor, and I must say that I proudly own one of these t-shirts, that tonight's recipient is Lifetime Developments, led by Principal Brian Brown, who launched the See You Soon in partnership with artist Ben Johnson and eTalks Tyrone Edwards. All proceeds from the sales of the limited edition clothing go directly to where it is needed most. I'm very pleased to accept this award on Lifetime's behalf, who unfortunately was unable to be with us tonight. Thank you, Brian, for all your efforts.
And grab your hat, leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet on the sunny side of the street, and you.
Thank you, Dave. Well-deserved lifetime developments. Please now welcome the world-renowned Andy Breathor of PMA Breathor Realty, a gold sponsor, to announce the winner of Riley Breathor Leadership Award. Thank you.
That's pretty tepid. Let's give a big cheer to each other for being here tonight. Just the look and feel and style. Isn't this fantastic? It's been a long time coming, and congrats to our leadership in this province of Ontario for even being allowed us to make this happen. That's really quite spectacular and a great thing that it is. So tonight, I'm here to present to you after when I started these awards 40 years ago. Oh, geez, I'm just a young chicken. And 1981 was the first one. I think we charged $15 and there was no dinner. And everybody got well oiled. And it was an amazing, amazing evening. Started a great, great tradition. But the Riley Breathor Award we named after my father, who had been in this business, of course, since 1953, and who had began the first initiation of really professional sales and marketing for the building and development industry in PMA in 1964. So one of those cornerstones of his life was that we created this award in his honor, recognizing exceptional leadership in the industry. So you've got to have a great achievement in what you've been doing and how you've been running your business. You must have made a great contribution to BILD. In other words, you're in committees, you're part of the organization, you're helping make this better, a better place to do business and look after our consumer more effectively. And then finally giving back to the community in a spirit of really tremendous magnanimity, and that was one of the words he lived by. The cornerstones of my father's world were really lived by resilience, determination, enthusiasm, obviously, and magnanimity to be able to give back. And those were some of the things we developed around this award, and over the 40 years have been some fantastic and incredible recipients. The winner this year, I was just really blown away by his ability to have become a new immigrant here to Canada in 2002, and he began his own business just not too many years later, has produced not only great leadership within the industry, with being responsible for over 16,000 unit sales during that period of 20 years, but he's been a tremendous supporter of BILD in a whole series of committees in other areas. He's a member of the Mackenzie Health Foundation Emerging Leaders Group, raising funds for Mackenzie Health. He is involved as a member of Hold 'em for Life charity, which is a charity for cancer research, and they've raised in excess of $37 million. So you can see the component parts of those three cornerstones of this award. I actually hadn't done this before, but I called his friends and colleagues and I said, give me one word that describes this individual. And they gave me these words: tenacious, charismatic, resilient, ingenious, innovative, supportive, collaborative, and always with courtesy and cooperation. That's a rousing endorsement. So join me in congratulating the winner this year of the Riley Breather Leadership Award to Johnson Cheng from Cornerstone Realty. Well done, Johnson. Boy, I have to remask, excuse me. Every time I went into the bank, I got in trouble wearing this mask. Is Johnson coming? Run, run, run. Run, 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 because we've got a very, very special guest following here. So Johnson, we're under some pressure. Kind of going to congratulate you. There you go.
Thank you, Andy, and congratulations, Johnson. I would now like to welcome Dave back up to the stage to introduce our special guest this evening.
Thank you very much. Well, tonight's been filled with a number of special opportunities, and none bigger than the one that I have now, which is introducing the Premier of Ontario, Honourable Doug Ford. Premier Ford. Yes. Thank you very much, Premier. If you don't mind, I'm just going to say a few words about absolutely. You. Right. Your water is there, Premier, and well, you never like to keep the Premier of the province waiting. It perhaps is a career-limiting move, but here it goes. It is my great pleasure, Premier, to introduce you. It is a first in the 41-year history of these awards that we've been able to welcome the Premier of Ontario to join us at this special dinner. Premier, and I say this sincerely, on behalf of the Ontarians that work for the home and commercial building and renovation industry, their families, and of course the customers of those homes that our members build, I'd like to thank you and your government for the leadership, particularly over the last 600 days. A round of applause for that leadership, please. As we slowly readjust and return to a new normal, like we are tonight, we want you to know that we appreciate your steady hand through the crisis, and we will never forget how you and your government have helped navigate this province through what's a once-in-a-100-year event with no playbook whatsoever. We don't know how you did it, sir. As we look at our collective reason for being, to build homes and commercial spaces for Ontarians, we also appreciate your government's actions to address the supply crunch facing the GTA. Taking strong action to facilitate increased supply rather than punitive taxes and demand-side actions is how we will get out of the affordability problem we're all facing. We know your government gets it. Thank you. The next year is a crucial one for our province, and I want you to know that BILD will continue to publicly and vocally support the measures put in place over the last 3 years to address our housing crisis and preserve our collective quality of life. Premier, again, on behalf of our association, on behalf of all the new homeowners that your government has supported, it is my pleasure to turn the podium to you. Sir, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's not very stable.
Oh, well, first of all, Dave, thank you so much for the kind words. And It's great to see everyone today. You know, Dave, I'm going to wing this speech because this is just getting away. So now there's going to be, there you go. This is where my staff gets really nervous when I do that. I put the speech away. Anyways, first of all, boy, is it great to be out here. This is the first time I've been out in 20 months with a crowd like this. And you know, we've all went through a lot of challenges, but I want to start off by thanking each and every one of you. I want to thank the frontline healthcare workers. I call them the frontline healthcare heroes. You know, showing the Ontario spirit. Everyone in this room has pitched in, and Dave, it's not me. It's the people of Ontario, the close to 15 million people that, again, world-leading vaccines. We're up to, I think it was 87% today for the first dose, 82 for the second. And again, I am so grateful for everyone in this province who've really led the way across the country, led the way around the world, but we've really shown the Ontario spirit. And I know each and every one of you, one way or another, have given back, have supported, no matter if it's delivering meals or delivering PPE. It's really staggering. Now, since we've come to this point, we'll never let our guard down. We'll continue moving forward. We have to focus on the economy. We have to focus on making sure that we have affordable homes right here in Ontario. It's absolutely critical. And I'll just speak for a minute on the economy in general. I'll never forget when I first got elected. And I went out there and found out we had lost 300,000 jobs to our neighbors south of the border. And the president at the time of General Motors came up to me and said, this is 2 weeks into us being elected, we're leaving Ontario because it's the worst jurisdiction to invest in. You have the highest hydro rates, you have the highest taxes, you have the red tape and regulations. Why should we be here? And I said, is there anything we can do to keep you here? No, we're moving. Let's move forward to today. General Motors is having the quickest build they've ever had out in Oshawa. They're adding shifts in Ingersoll. They're back full steam. We have Stellantis, Chrysler, which is down in Windsor and Brampton, that now are going full steam ahead. Ford Oakville was going down to Mexico. Now they're here as well, going full steam. We have Toyota and Honda. My point is, when you create the environment for companies to thrive and prosper and grow, and I always say we create the environment and conditions, because if government creates jobs, we're all in trouble here. Absolutely deep in trouble. But we took a different approach. When we came into office, and after that little conversation with General Motors, I talked to my Minister of Economic Development, Vic Fideli. I said, Vic, we have to change and create an environment for companies around the world to come here. And I'm proud to say we did exactly that. We cut $7 billion, that's with a B, $7 billion of burden off the backs of companies. And that's compounded year after year after year, cutting WSIB premiums by $2.2 billion. And I know there's a lot of owners of companies, you've seen your WSIB premiums go down, making sure that we cut red tape and regulations, which is so important, especially in the industry that each and every one of you have been in, by $400 million, cut small business taxes by 8.75%, and so on, so forth. Since we've created that environment, every day I get an update from economic development. Our province is an economic powerhouse in North America. And I say an economic powerhouse, I'll just give you a few figures. With the United States, which is our largest trading partner, and if we were a standalone country, we'd be the United States' third largest trading partner in the world. We do $400 million of two-way trade with the United States. We're the #1 trading partner to 19 states, and we're #2 with 9 other states. We can manufacture anything here. We can build anything. We have the most diverse economy anywhere in North America. And do you know who gets the credit? the people of Ontario get the credit. We have some of the brightest people coming out of colleges and universities. And before I talk about how we're gonna solve the housing crisis, I'll never forget when I first got elected, I did my press conference. And sure enough, the friendly press said, you have to raise taxes. It's absolutely critical you raise taxes. You have the largest debt in the entire world and so on and so forth. And I told them, I said, that is the worst thing you could ever do. Take money out of people's pocket and give it to government, take money out of businesses. And I have a different philosophy. Put money back into people's pockets. They're gonna go out and they're gonna go for dinner, they're gonna buy a refrigerator, they're gonna put a renovation on their home. And with businesses are gonna reinvest it. They're gonna reinvest it into their people, into technology, back into their businesses, and they're gonna grow. And folks, the philosophy worked our first year because we gained 307,000 new jobs in less than 18 months. We saw $2.5 billion come up to the Queen's Park coffers. Rather than, taxing more, we cut taxes. More people were paying taxes, and it created a strong economy. Because there's one thing I can tell you, the worst place anywhere you could put your money and give your money is the government. That is the worst place. Doesn't matter if it's municipal, provincial, or federal. So, now let's talk about the housing crisis, Dave, then I'm gonna wrap up fairly quickly. It's very simple. It's not about the foreign buyers, it's not about this. Do you know what it's about? Supply and demand. It's about the red tape and regulations when you go to the municipality that should take a few months to get your permit, can take 3 or 4 years to get your permit. That's what jacks up the prices. Very, very simply. Folks, we have really supported your industry. We're going to continue to support your industry by cutting the red tape and regulations. We're going to have a housing summit. I've called some of the large city mayors around Ontario, and I said, we have to do something about this issue about taking forever to get a permit. And there's one person, excuse my language, but they can't blow smoke up my yin-yang. I understand the permit process, especially the city of Toronto, thanks to my brother Rob and being down there. The architect or whoever engineer hands it in for a permit, then it goes around in a circle. And they make their comments, no matter if it's transportation or heritage, there's better ways of doing it. We're gonna make sure the municipalities, we're gonna work with them, and I've offered to do whatever it takes on a provincial level to speed up the permits, and we're gonna make sure that we reduce the time of permits, because we know the longer it takes, the more it costs. And who pays? The people that are buying the homes or the condos pay. And I said to one mayor, I said, I'd love to do this. I'm not gonna mention the mayor, because I like all the mayors, they're good folks. They just have to speed things up. I said to the mayor, I said, I'm gonna use a condominium, for example. The condominium costs $700,000. I have an idea. Why don't we get the developer, right? Why don't we get the developer out of that $700,000, and this fluctuates, as you know, the fees, the development fees, the taxes, everything else they clump on could be 30 to 40%. But I'll say it's 30%. I said, why doesn't the developer invoice the buyer for that amount of, let's say, roughly $500,000, and then the municipality, why don't you send the buyer a bill for $210,000 of all the taxes and fees, and I wonder how quickly you get reelected if you did that, instead of bearing it inside there. So we're gonna hold municipalities, we're gonna work with them, we're gonna hold them to account, we're gonna speed things up, we're getting rid of the red tape and regulations. As sure as I'm standing here, we are gonna have Ontario booming once again. I'm gonna wrap up. Dave, thank you. I wanna wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you. Sorry about that, Dave.
No, it's good. Premier, perhaps. Premier. Yeah, there you go. Premier, on behalf of our members, you get it. You understand how we solve the housing affordability crisis. You understand how we ensure that this economy continues to be booming, and we appreciate your support, and we look forward to continuing to work with you. Thank you. Please have a happy Thanksgiving as well. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your meal.
apreciar esse céu azul. As ondas do mar que batem e fazem é isso aí. É no balanço das ondas, na ginga da capoeira, na noite. São nas escolas de samba, o samba das escolas, que eu vou me acabar, que eu vou arrasar. Eu vou curtir esse carnaval, essa festa, festa de rua. Vou comemorar, vou viver, vou brincar com os meus amigos, vou jogar, vou tomar banho de mar.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We're moving forward with our program. Please take your seats. We're moving forward with our program. Thank you.
Many of the titans of today's residential and commercial building development industry trace their origins to the 1950s. It was a monumental time for the region, with many firsts that would provide the backbone for later development. The ribbons of the 400 series highways expanded, enabling the development of multiple cities and towns of the Greater Toronto Area of the future. The construction of the Gardiner Expressway kicked off in the mid-1950s. Toronto's first subway opened early in the decade, and plans were made immediately to expand the network. The first dedicated zoning bylaws passed in 1952, 53, and 59. They would significantly influence how the city would grow. Toronto became a metropolis out of a federation between the Old City of Toronto, the key regions, towns, and villages in the area. The name of BILD's predecessor association mirrored this, becoming the Metropolitan Toronto Home Builders Association. And there were increasing housing starts in this decade, caused by the influx of migrants in Canada's fourth wave of immigration, the post-war baby boom, the increasing shift of population from rural to urban Canada, and finally, the introduction of mortgage loan insurance under the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation in 1952. This virtually doubled the housing levels of the 1930s, foreshadowing another doubling in the 1960s. Overall, the city was building the infrastructure on which greatness and growth would depend. It was a vast network of transit, roads, highways, bridges, and sewers that would keep things moving and eventually lay the foundation for the entire GTA region. Certainly, Toronto and the region were on course to become Canada's economic engine, surpassing their traditional rival of Montreal.
The 1960s was also another period of tremendous growth and development for the region. The City of Toronto saw the opening of the Bloor-Danforth subway, a new city hall, and impressive developments downtown. And in 1968, the registration of its first condominium. The decade also marked an important shift in the pattern of development in the region, the meteoric rise of the suburbs. Suburban development truly boomed. Why? Well, for starters, population increases from the baby boom and immigration, but also the expanding network of roads and highways, and, in 1967, the opening of the GO Transit commuter rail service. The Canadian dream of home ownership now came within reach for virtually everyone, thanks to insurance-backed mortgage loans and new ways of building homes and communities. As Toronto expanded, residential and commercial builders and developers literally built the region as we know it. Much of what they built, including schools, hospitals, infrastructure, workplaces, shops, and entertainment facilities, is still in use today. For local home builders associations, the 1960s hold another important milestone. The Toronto Home Builders Association joined a group of other home builders associations in 1963, establishing the Ontario Home Builders Association, OHBA. Its role, then and now, to focus on provincial legislation, regulations, and policies that impact the residential construction industry and its customers, new home buyers. BILD remains the largest member of the OHBA. Its membership is responsible for more than half of the homes built in Ontario in any given year.
In the 1970s, the foundations of the GTA continued to be laid on a significant scale, most notably the CN Tower. A new symbol of Canadian industry, technology, and engineering was completed in 1976. It was the world's tallest freestanding structure for 32 years. The regional municipalities of York, Peel, Halton, and Durham were established in this decade. These regional municipal governments would evolve to provide core public services to the smaller municipalities within their boundaries. Several landmark shopping malls opened in the 1970s, changing the retail landscape forever. The Eaton Centre, for example, became a downtown magnet upon opening in 1977. Today, it's still North America's busiest shopping mall by far. The region was definitely on the move. Expanding transportation infrastructure knit the GTA together. GO Transit introduced the GO Bus, 2 additional GO train lines, and the iconic double-decker rail cars. Early in the 70s, Highway 427 was designated, and the Highway 400 expansion began around the same time. Later, Highway 404 was added, and construction began on Highway 403 through Mississauga. In Toronto, the Yonge subway line was extended to Finch, and the Spadina subway line was added. This type of concentrated investment in public infrastructure has not been seen since. By the end of the 70s, the population of the region had grown to just over 3 million people, with more than 1 million living in the cities and towns surrounding the city of Toronto. It had taken nearly 150 years from founding of Toronto in 1834 for the population to reach this level. It will take just shy of 40 years to reach today's population, which is more than double.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please, we're going to move on with our awards. If you're standing, if you also wouldn't mind taking your seats, we can move forward. Thank you so much. Now, as you can see, the 50s were a very busy time in the industry, and now we're going to be quite busy as we get going with our next 7 awards. The categories are Best Project Branding and Identity Low Rise, Best Project Branding and Identity Mid High Rise, Best Mid-Rise Building Design, Best High Rise Building Design, Ignat Canef Inspiration Award, the Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Award, and the Angelo Del Zotto Fearless Innovator Award. Our first category acknowledges the graphic and creative elements of a marketing campaign. The Best Project Branding and Identity Low Rise Award is presented by Jean Tolfo of the Federated Insurance Company of Canada.
And the award goes to Homestead Branthaven Homes. Unfortunately, the winner is not present to accept the award, so I will accept the award on their behalf.
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock round the clock tonight. When the clock strikes 1, join me on. We'll have fun when the clock strikes 1. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Joining us from home, please put your hands together for Natasha Rubin-Kuplin from TD to present the Best Project Branding and Identity Mid High Rise Award.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of TD Bank, Lydia Dadik, and myself, congratulations to all of tonight's nominees and winners. Tonight, the Best Project Branding and Identity High Rise Mid Rise Award goes to Tridel, Market Alexandra Park, the Brand Factory. Congratulations.
Walked through a party in the county jail. The prison bell was there, they began to wail. A jumping, and a drum began to swing. The shutter out and knocked out jail boots, that's a rock. Everybody, let's rock. Everybody in the old cell rock. Take to the jail, let's rock. Got a brother made tenor saxophone. A little show of blowing on stop trombone. The brother in an orchestra boom bang. My rhythm section is a ball beat, that's a rock. Everybody, let's rock. Everybody in the old cell rock. Let's do the jail, let's rock.
I'm seeing so much dancing in the crowd. I love it. Please put your hands together and welcome Barbara Lawler of Baker Real Estate Incorporated to present the award for Best Mid-Rise Building Design, which recognizes excellence in architectural design of a mid-rise building, 4 to 11 stories.
The award for Best Mid-Rise Building Design goes to 10 Prince Arthur, North Drive Investments, Inc., and Michael London Design. We are sorry that they're not with us, but I will happily take the award and run home with it. Thank you.
Howard Friedman of Travelers Canada is here via video to present the Best High-Rise Building Design, also a Pinnacle Award.
Good evening. On behalf of Travelers Canada, the award for Best High-Rise Building Design goes to Tridel, Market Alexandra Park, CS&P Architects Inc., SVN Architects and Planners, Thomas Pierce Interior Design Consulting Inc. Congratulations.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace. It's out of my mind. Yes, I'm in love. I'm a believer. I can leave if I try. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace. It's out of my mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Caniff family to the stage to present the Ignat Caniff Inspiration Award named in honor of their patriarch.
Hello, good evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please draw your attention to this stage. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Didi Caniff, and I am Igis Caniff's wife. This is Anna Maria Caniff, and she's Executive Vice President of Caniff Group of Companies. And this is Christina Maria Caniff, and she's a Vice President and General Counsel for Caniff Group of Companies.
Bear with us. We lost our father and our husband a year and 3 months ago, so you might hear some tears, quivering voices. The Ignat Caniff Inspiration Award is presented to an individual or member company dedicated to supporting newcomers to Canada by providing them with employment, training, and mentorship opportunities. These individuals are philanthropic, conscious of the impact that they are making on their communities, and promote inclusivity for a stronger and more diverse community. The award was established in the name of our father and husband, Ignat Caniff, who passed away last year. A native of Bulgaria and an immigrant himself, he founded Caniff Construction in the mid-1950s, capitalizing on the post-war housing boom. Later, the company would grow to include high-rise condo and rental construction, and also commercial, office, retail developments, and of course, golf courses. Not only credited for shaping Mississauga and Brampton's downtown skylines, our father and husband's love of golf spearheaded opening the Linehead Golf Course and Conference Center and raising the standard of publicly available golf in the 1990s in this beautiful province of ours. Our father and husband's legacy in real estate development is matched only by his many philanthropic deeds. Not unlike his ability to encourage and inspire those around him, tonight's recipient of the Ignat Caniff Inspiration Award is the owner and founder of a residential building company An immigrant himself, he deeply understands the importance of supporting his community, especially newcomers to this country of ours.
He is a third-generation builder whose easy rapport with clients, collaborative nature, and ultimate reliability have resulted in long-lasting relationships and a solid reputation in the industry. He didn't hesitate to lend his support to many of the 5,000+ Syrian refugees who arrived in Toronto, sponsored by the Armenian Community Centre in North York under his leadership as chair. He employs several at his company as general laborers and through his subcontracting business. His efforts are not limited to groups of Canadian newcomers. He searches for opportunities to help mentor individuals so they can have a thriving industry career. A shining example of this is paying for an employee's tuition to York University's Schulich School of Business. That employee went on to become the company's project manager. His spirit of generosity is embedded in the company culture as they support local charitable efforts every year. Last year, the company donated more than $16,000 to Horizons for Youth, which provides at-risk and homeless youth in Toronto with a home and life-changing programs. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our honor to announce this year's recipient of the inaugural Ignat Caniff Inspiration Award, and that is to Mr. Jack Tarosian of Golden Bee Homes.
Eagles keep on turning, proud never keep on burning. Rolling, rolling, rolling on a river. Yeah, we're rolling, rolling, rolling on a river. Yeah, we're rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Yeah, we're rolling, rolling, rolling on the river.
Jack, thank you for your inspiring example of generosity and your commitment to making new Canadians feel at home. It is now my honor to introduce BILD's chair, Jason Sheldon of Remington Group. He will have the pleasure of presenting the first BILD Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Award. This is presented to a member company that has demonstrated leadership in BILD's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion program and in the industry. Through the program, BILD and our members strive to proactively reduce discrimination, prejudice, and racism.
Good evening. It's my honor to present this award. In 2020, BILD introduced its DE&I program to promote diversity and inclusion in our industry and to proactively reduce discrimination, prejudice, and racism by facilitating awareness, education, and open discussion. This award acknowledges organizations that have encouraged DE&I in their business and integrated into their daily operations, their communities, and overall industry. BILD hopes this award will support industry-wide adoption of DE&I initiatives, philosophies, and values. Tonight's winner of this new award strives to lead by example. This company goes beyond a zero-tolerance policy by supporting active anti-racism actions and acknowledging that racism is a systemic issue that requires a deep, enduring commitment to change. Our recipient exemplifies the criteria for this award by demonstrating its DE&I leadership within our industry by organizing industry programs and educational awareness events. For this company, the journey began with a humbling conversation with its employees. They have since intensified efforts to raise awareness about systemic inequity and racism in our industry while providing programs to evolve an anti-racist workplace, which includes new policies and action plans. Now this company is delving into how they deal with DE&I issues on several levels, such as how it recruits talent, how it establishes social inclusion, and working with industry associations to create collaborative efforts designed to drive change. This company has created a Built for Respect platform. It's planned for DE&I efforts. The purpose is to raise awareness while educating about systemic racism and challenging the systemic barriers that exist in construction. More than 30 employees representing 14 departments are part of their DE&I steering committee, a forum for change. In addition, an employee-led group called Common Ground was formed as a safe space to discuss experiences and share ideas. Common Ground meets regularly, and it's moderated by external experts like the Toronto Community Benefits Network. It is now my distinct pleasure to announce the winner of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Award, Tridel.
Hooked on a feeling, high on believing that you're in love with me. Lips as sweet as candy, the taste is on my mind. Girl, you got me thirsty for another cup of wine. Got a bug from you, girl. I don't need no cure. I just stay a victim till I can't be sure of a good love. When we're all alone, keep it up, girl. Yeah, you turn me on. Hooked on a feeling, high on believing that you're in love with me. Hooked on a feeling, I'm high on believing.
Congratulations, Tridel. Please welcome Tridel's Executive Director, Andrea Delzato, to present the inaugural Angelo Delzato Fearless Innovator Award in honor of her father.
Good evening, everyone. The inaugural Angelo Delzato Fearless Innovator Award is bestowed upon a member company committed to pursuing innovation in all forms, including process, technologies, and products, with the result of positively impacting people, communities, business, and our planet. The award is named in honor of my father, Angelo, a legendary leader of Tridel who embodied innovation in all that he did. In sponsoring this award, Tridel wishes to inspire and to create an ecosystem of innovation in our industry. Tonight's award recipients, that's right, we could not just choose one, so we have two, demonstrate the brave and adventurous spirit that Angelo had. They are a company whose people and leadership are dedicated to being change makers for the greater good. Our first recipient is a company that invests in innovation as a principle and acknowledges that sometimes this means accepting and learning from failure. They boast a fearless desire to find efficiencies in all areas of business. Their leadership is known for their strong work ethic and their ability to excel in various competitive environments. What's more, they have challenged industry competitors, peers, and municipal partners to take proactive changes that allow all parties to succeed. At the highest level of leadership, this company is led by an individual who has on-the-ground knowledge and an ability to think outside the box. They continuously put their team, their partners, consultants, industry associations, and all levels of government to push the limits, to do better, and to be better. This drive to do it right and to challenge the status quo filters through all levels of the company and to its sister firms. Most recently and notably, they introduced an integrated frame and cover system, also known as IFC, for municipal manhole covers, or as I like to call them, municipal person covers. It's 2021. They have a 200% longer life cycle, increased sewer capacity, and groundwater recharge, which is better for the environment, and it saves municipalities and taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. Tonight's first recipient of the Angelo Delzato Fearless Innovator Award goes to TAC Group of Companies. And led by Silvio De Gasperis, in his own words, described as not a status quo guy. He's my kind of guy. I'd like to invite Silvio to the stage to receive this award.
And they were dancing and singing and moving to the groove. And just when it hit me, somebody turned around and tried to play that funky music right, boy. Play that funky music right. Play that funky music right, boy. Play down the funky and play that funky music till you die. Till you die.
Thank you. Our second recipient features innovation of a different kind, focused on social change, and it started what I hope is a movement to transform how the industry is viewed both internally and externally, and by the media that represents us. It all began with an inspired partnership, one that recognized that while white talented men have historically led our industry, and I do know a few of those men, things have changed. And there are more players, voices, and people at the table, and women are among them. We are living in a modern age, and despite the industry having a reputation of being carried by what's been termed in the media as condo kings, we are learning that there is also room for some queens. And that was the birth of Canada's first ever all-female development, Reina Condos, designed and developed by women, yet built for everyone. It addressed the fact that while there are more female leaders within the industry, they remain underrepresented in the boardroom, they are given fewer advancement opportunities, and still experience a large gender gap within our professional disciplines. On this backdrop, Reina Condominium set out to make a statement. Females are equally capable of developing and delivering as vibrant and transformative a project as men, and then some. But Reina was never intent on excluding men from the conversation, yet only to challenge the industry and prove that a diversity of voices and perspectives in leadership positions translates to a better community. They did it by prioritizing a few things, such as seeking female talent where they're underrepresented, including structural, construction, and hydro engineering. They focused on youth engagement to educate upcoming talent on real estate development as a career path. And they very deliberately and strategically co-created a community by incorporating female residents' ideas and aspirations into their final design. Marking a first for the industry in Canada, all leadership positions are filled by women, from the developers themselves to their consultants. And because of it, they garnered global media attention, and they shifted the spotlight, pardon the pun, to highlight the amazing talent of females within our industry. And it was actually my father Angelo's pleasure to meet these queens, two developers whom he was at the same time both utterly impressed and equally proud of. It's my pleasure to present Spotlight Development's Sherry Larjani and Taya Cook of Urban Capital as a recipient of the Angelo Delzato Fearless Innovator Award tonight.
a little while. Open your eyes and look at the day, and you'll see things in a different way. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon begin. It'll begin better than before. Yesterday's gone, yesterday's gone. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon begin. It'll begin better than before. Yesterday's gone, yesterday's gone.
Thank you, and congratulations to our winners.
The 1980s were a period of high inflation, the kind of punishing inflation that eats away at the value of money and leads to rapid cost increases. As North America reeled from a series of economic shocks and instability, central banks and governments sought to tame inflation by steadily increasing interest rates. Eventually, the Bank of Canada rate was allowed to float instead of being fixed. Of course, these efforts also impacted mortgage interest rates, as the prime lending rate passed the 22% mark in 1981. This meant servicing mortgage debt was a challenge. Qualifying for a mortgage was difficult, and those renewing fixed mortgages were in for a shock. Predictably, housing starts in the late 70s and early 80s dipped precipitously from the 50-year average, only to roar back in the mid-1980s and then drop off a cliff again as the recession kicked in. The GTA housing market would not recover until the mid-1990s. The 1980s also marked the beginning of the rise of the condominium, becoming a staple in the GTA market. The increasing comfort with the new form of homeownership led to the first condo boom in the mid-1980s. For the industry, Ontario's first Development Charges Act passed in the late 80s, which allowed municipalities to recover the costs for growth-related services and infrastructure by levying charges on new homes and commercial development. To celebrate all housing forms and the people behind them, the Home Builder Awards, known today as the BILD Awards, began in 1980.
At the end of the previous decade, unemployment had increased, wages had tumbled in real terms, and inflation had made a modest return. Interest rates had increased to compensate. The recession and the correction in the housing market persisted through the early 1990s. Housing starts increased only gradually before returning to more traditional levels mid-decade. This recovery was helped by rising immigration levels and increasingly stable and low inflation levels. As growth took hold again in the late 1990s, the cities and towns of the GTA resumed more normal growth patterns. The seeds of urban renewal were being sown in older areas of Toronto amid rapid deindustrialization. The 90s gave birth to what we now recognize as the modern vision of the GTA. There was amalgamation, the first provincial policy statement, increasing environmental consciousness, and the rise of smart growth as a concept. As for infrastructure, the opening central section of Highway 407 happened in 1997. Planned since the 1950s, the highway provided a vital link tying the GTA together. Also, the first major subway addition in Toronto since 1966, the Shepherd Line, began in the 90s, although it wouldn't be operational until 2002. At the association, the Metropolitan Toronto Home Builders Association became the Greater Toronto Home Builders Association, GTHBA, in recognition of the expanding mandate and growing importance of the towns and cities of the region. By the next decade, the combined population of these communities outside the city of Toronto would eclipse the population of the city itself.
The 2000s saw the implementation of policies that would shape development in the Greater Toronto Area for decades. The first was the Provincial Growth Plan in 2006. It was born out of a realization that the GTA had consistently been one of the fastest growing regions in North America, and this would likely continue to be the case. In fact, projections show that Toronto and the GTA will be home to 13.5 million people and 6.4 million jobs by 2051. The growth plan has been a means to intelligently plan for this rapid growth. The growth plan directs where growth should occur, specifying increased housing and employment densities, preferably around existing infrastructure and transit. Why? To maximize return on investment, use land efficiently, and minimize environmental footprint. Looking at development that occurred after the introduction of the growth plan, there's no doubt that industry complied with the spirit and intent of the policy to produce complete communities. The other significant policy development of the 2000s was the implementation of the Greenbelt. Created in 2005, the 7,200 square kilometer Greenbelt doesn't just protect land, it's also the largest preserve of its kind in North America, if not the world. With land within the Greenbelt off the table for development and the region's population set to double in the next 30 years, there's been a tension in planning debates: how to accommodate growth in the land that remains. The association continues to work with all partners on solutions to meet this challenge. On the association front, in 2001, the Greater Toronto Home Builders Association established Renomark to identify professional contractors and address the concerns of homeowners looking for a reputable renovator. In 2006, GTHBA and the Urban Development Institute Ontario merged to create GTHBA UDI, bringing together the building and development arms of the industry. Shortly after, this new group searched for an appropriate branding and a name that would best represent its work. Thus, the Building Industry and Land Development Association, BILD as we know it today, was created.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. If I could have your attention, we've got some more awards to give out. If I could have your attention, ladies and gentlemen, we have a few more awards to give out. We are going to be handing out awards for the Best Advertising Campaign, the Best Overall Marketing Campaign, Best New Community Bill, Project of the Year, Low Rise, Project of the Year, Mid High Rise, and the People's Choice Awards. So let's get to it. If I could have your attention, we'd like to present these awards, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. The Best Advertising Campaign Paid Media Award recognizes the best paid media advertising campaign for a builder, developer, or a new residential or mixed-use development. To present this award is John Hughes from MNP.
Everybody, welcome, and on behalf of all my partners at MNP, we're thrilled to be a presenting partner at BILD tonight. And the award goes to Nordic Condos, Collective, Montana Steel Advertising. Congratulations.
Don't you wanna go? Dine. 2000 money overlooks out of time. So tonight we're gonna party like it's 1999.
The winner of the Best Overall Marketing Campaign is an example of excellence in integrated marketing and demonstrates a strong graphic language and brand cohesion, an engaging content strategy, and a powerful lead generation campaign. Please welcome Bram Rotham of Atrium Mortgage Investment Corporation to announce the winner.
Okay, good evening. The award goes to 199 Church, Center Court Developments, LA, Inc.
Again on my own, on down the only road I've ever known. Like a drifter, I was born to walk alone, and I made up my mind. I ain't wasting no time. Here I go again on my own. Down the only road I've ever known. Like a drifter, I was born to walk alone, and I made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. Here I go again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known. Like a drifter, I was born to walk alone.
The award for Best New Community Built celebrates an outstanding, completely built community that embodies the principles of the province's Places to Grow legislation. Here to represent this award is Eric Kuzion of Austin Birch Development Marketing.
Good evening, everyone. A big congratulations to all the nominees and winners tonight. And the winner is, and the award goes to West Shore Beach Club, Summerhill Homes. That's excitement. The Kiewit Partnership.
Now, are you ready for a new sensation? New sensation now. It's gonna take you over, sensation. New sensation. Hey, baby, hey. When another left for you, you're only human. What can you do? It'll soon be over. Don't let your pain take over you. Love, baby, love, sweet all over your face. There's something better we can do and live forever. Well, that's all we've got to do. Hey, yeah. Now, are you ready for a new sensation? A new sensation. It's gonna take you over, sensation. New sensation. Now, are you ready for a new sensation?
These reactions keep getting better and better. Let's see what's up next. The Project of the Year Mid-High Rise recognizes the new mid-rise or high-rise project that best combines excellence in design and marketing and that best exemplifies quality and innovation. Joining us virtually is Lou Bizzelli of Bell, who will announce the winner.
Good evening, everybody. We're happy to be here tonight and excited to present the award. Hoping everybody's still keeping well and looking forward to catching up with you in person in the very near future. But for now, tonight, we'd like to present the award for Project of the Year, Mid-High Rise, goes to Junction Point, Gerlach Developments, Community, George, Paul Johnston, Unique Urban Homes. Congratulations to the winners.
In the city, in the city of golden rocks. In the city, keep it rocking, shake Shake it, shake it. Shake it, shake it, mama. Shake it, Cali. Shake it, baby. Shake it, shake it. Shake it, baby. Shake it, Cali. I don't care if it's out there, California dreaming. Scenes, you can do screaming. Got the money and the alcohol with the South Bend. It's all ball. The city. In the city of fun.
Kim O'Brien is joining us virtually from Moen and will announce the winner for Project of the Year, Low Rise.
Good evening. I'm sorry that I can't be there to present in person tonight, but coming to you from my home office in celebratory spirit. On behalf of Moen, hats off to all the nominees, and the award for Best Project of the Year, Low Rise, goes to State View Homes, The Enclave, 52 Pickup Inc. Congratulations, State View Homes, on this pinnacle award.
The people have spoken. Next Home's Jackie Hill will present the hotly anticipated People's Choice Award.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Next Home and my partners, Michael Rossett and Susan Legg, I'm thrilled to be here tonight to announce the winner of the coveted People's Choice Award. So this was an award that had a lot of contenders. I'm going to be announcing from 5th to 1st place. In 5th place, we have One Delisle. In 4th place, Presto Modern Towns. Taking 3rd place, Market and Alexandra Park. In 2nd place, Tridel Royal Bayview. And so the People's Choice Award goes to, are you ready? City Point Commons. Congratulations.
Love the exception, so why are we so in the night when we know we're not happy here? Hey! Don't want to meet your mama, just want to make you come up. I am just really honest. I am just really honest. And I say, hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah.
All right, we'll take a look at our last 2 decades and then our final set of awards after this.
The 2010s were the decade when housing supply again became a major issue in the GTA, but it also saw a shift to improve the region's transit. The housing supply shortage is driven today by 3 main factors. The first is the growth plan, with its directive to build denser communities within existing municipal boundaries. This has led to a land supply crunch that can only be alleviated with the expansion of municipal boundaries. The second, the complexity of the municipal approval process for new homes and new communities. It now takes 10 years or more for a typical high-rise project in the GTA, and 11 for a typical low-rise, due in part for the necessary approvals, delaying the addition of new housing supply to the market. Lastly, given that the big days of infrastructure spending were in the 50s through the end of the 70s, existing infrastructure is not able to support growth, where the provincial growth plan would like growth to occur. This limits the ability to add new housing, and when new infrastructure is added, it comes too slowly. The housing supply problem, combined with high demand, spiked GTA housing prices in the 2010s, doubling and sometimes tripling them. In addition, politically motivated demand-side pressures, such as the stress test and foreign buyer sales taxes, only masked the housing market's structural imbalance. In 2018, the provincial government recognized that the problem is on the supply side and implemented its Housing Supply Action Plan to start to bring more balance to the market. The plan requires municipalities to adequately plan for a near doubling of the population by 2051. Even though the housing crisis deepened in this decade, there were positive moves. Mid-2010s, new corporate headquarters, particularly banks, relocated as fast as new towers are constructed south of Front Street. They now occupy considerable office space in the South Core, on what was once the eastern part of the railway lands. By 2015, this financial district spanned 5 million square feet of office space. Transit took off across the GTA in the 2010s, with work resuming on the Shepherd, Eglinton, and Finch LRT lines, and connecting transit hubs, Union Station and Toronto Pearson International Airport, with the Union Pearson Express in 2015. This new plan, Cross-Regional Transportation Plan, called the Big Move, has a massive $11.5 billion, introduced in 2008 and adopted by Metrolinx. BILD, having brought together planners, developers, and builders under its banner in 2007, took on an increasing role in provincial advocacy, recognizing that the future of the GTA is shaped by both provincial and municipal policy. Today, BILD has more than 1,300 member companies and is one of the largest associations of its kind in North America.
For the last 100 years, the cities and towns of the GTA have been a beacon, welcoming new Canadians from all over the world. In fact, the GTA is one of the fastest-growing urban areas in North America. From 1920 to 1950, the population doubled, then doubled again by the start of the 1990s, and then again to today, bringing the total to nearly 7 million people. Development has provided housing, employment spaces, schools, hospitals, and all the recreation amenities we enjoy. The GTA generates 20% of Canada's GDP and 50% of Ontario's GDP. Our quality of life and economic strength are rooted in our ability to attract and retain highly educated and skilled workers and provide them with desirable places to live, work, and play. However, in the last 20 years, building more homes and workspaces has been more restricted, costly, and time-consuming than ever, as municipalities bow to local pressures that resist development. The current provincial government has brought in welcome changes with its Housing Supply Action Plan, but it is up to the municipalities to meet the new requirements. With more than 4 million more new residents expected by 2051, now is the time to ask ourselves what type of future we want. Now is the time to have a serious, honest, open, and factual dialogue about the challenges and realities of accommodating projected population growth. Along with all municipal, provincial, and federal partners, BILD and its members look forward to meeting the housing challenge, finding innovations to its solution, and creating a better GTA together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it. We now have our last 4 awards to announce for the categories of Best New Community, Planned and Under Development, Green Builder of the Year, Low Rise and Mid Rise and High Rise, Green Builder of the Year, Mid and High Rise, Home Builder of the Year, Mid, High Rise, then Low Rise. The recipient of the Best New Community, Planned, Under Development embodies the principles of the province's Places to Grow legislation. This award will be presented by Yael Goldschmidt from Caesarstone.
Thank you, everyone. On behalf of Caesarstone, we're honored to present this award to Canary District, Dream Asset Management Corp, Kilmer Group, BDP, Quadrangle. Congratulations.
of the Year Award recognizes outstanding leadership in green building practices, including through its site planning, design, and construction. Scott Jeffries of Meridian Brick will now announce our winner for Low Rise. Is Scott with us?
It's great to see everyone this evening. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there with you in person, but it's my pleasure to announce the winner of Green Builder of the Year, Low Rise. The award goes to Minto Communities. Congratulations.
Because I'm happy not alone if you feel like a roof without a roof. Because I'm happy long if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy long if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
now turn your attention once again to the screens as Susan Cuddy of Enbridge Gas announces the winning recipient for Green Builder of the Year Mid High Rise.
Good evening. On behalf of Enbridge Gas, I just want to thank BILD for allowing us to be here tonight. And I'm very proud to announce that tonight's winner is Tridel.
I'm blinded by the light. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. Oh, I'm drowning in the night. Oh, anything to the fun night. Just hey, hey, hey.
Congratulations, Minto and Tridel. We have truly saved the best for last. Our last two awards are the most coveted Pinnacle Awards, Home Builder of the Year, Mid High Rise, and Home Builder of the Year, Low Rise, the big ones. To help select the winners in these categories, BILD conducts a homeowner survey of recent occupants on how satisfied they are with their builder, and the responses are key in determining the winners of these awards. Now, before we announce the winners, I think it's also important to take a moment to salute your enormous effort that goes into submitting your best work for the BILD Awards every year. Thank you for helping make this night a huge success, and my goodness, 2 years later, we're so lucky to be here. So round of applause. Now, last but not least, I want to recognize BILD's marketing partners and corporate sponsors. Your support made this evening of celebration possible. To present the award for Home Builder of the Year Mid-High Rise, it is my pleasure to welcome BILD marketing partner Rich Young of Rogers Communication.
Good evening, everyone. Home Builder of the Year, Mid-High Rise. The award goes to Great Golf Homes.
Don't believe me, just watch. Come on.
The final category this evening is Home Builder of the Year Low Rise. And to present this award, please welcome Jason Sadler from BILD marketing partner Toronto Star.
Good evening. I just gotta say, man, it's good to see all y'all tonight. Y'all look good. Can you help me just give a shout out to all the nominees and the winners of this evening and the event that BILD put on for everybody? So I'm honored to present the award for Home Builder of the Year, Low Rise. And this awesome award goes to, I just want to make you guys wait a little longer, Opus Homes.
Under the light, when everything goes nowhere. Just dance, dance, dance. Just dance, dance, dance. Just dance, dance, dance. Just dance, dance, dance. I got this feeling in my body. I got this feeling in my body. Come on, I wanna see you move your body. Got this feeling in my body. I got this feeling in my body. Got this feeling in my body. I got this feeling in my body. I got this feeling in my body.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that award, we conclude this evening's agenda. A huge congratulations to all of the winners. Thank you all for coming. I'm sure this is for many of you the first time out in quite a while, and what an event it was. I hope you had a wonderful night, and please drive home safely.